All right, so we continue our focus on gender-based violence and its impact on sport. Swimming, water polo, gymnastics and netball have had historical and more recent allegations come into light. As the custodians of sport in the country, Sascoc is tasked with addressing abuse in the sector. Board member Kim Pople joins us now to discuss this. A very good afternoon, Kim. Great to chat to you. My opening question is this: how has Sascoc addressed GBV in sports?
Evening, and thanks everyone. In 2019, the General Council, which is the highest decision-making body of sport in South Africa, passed our safeguarding policy, which is the framework which all national federations, follow through. National federations then went and implemented their own safeguarding policies. We have a small percentage left here having to pass these at their AGMs, and now have a framework, to help support and really push and put forward safeguarding in the country.
Let's describe that framework, Kim. What is the effective measuring tool to eradicate abuse once and for all?
Yeah, so we've gone with starting with your basics. So that is your coaches, volunteers, anyone involved in sport and dealing with athletes and officials and that. We have clearance checks. We check you against criminal checks, sexual offenders register, the children's register, as well as signing, a code, so that you're doing your due diligence. It's basically a risk assessment, if we want to put it in layman's language, and also we do training, basic safeguarding awareness, and that's not only for officials and coaches, and how to behave and what's appropriate and what's not, but also for athletes. What is appropriate for a coach to do with you and not do with you, especially seeing a sport such as gymnastics. It's very difficult when you're coaching, you have to touch an athlete somehow, and so it's how to deal with that. We go on to designated safeguarding officers, who are more senior and more understanding of how things work, and implementing reporting mechanisms, which is hugely important, for the safety of anyone involved in sport. I don't want to talk about athletes, but technical officials and anyone else involved in sports, they have to be protected as well.
But Kim, critics have said that federations don't have the adequate skills to challenge this problem head on. What is your view on that assertion?
To some extent, 100% agree with them. This is new to us, safeguarding for our place in sport. And as we say, new, it's only, what are we now, into our third year. We've just done a huge review of our own safeguarding policy. So we're also advocating for a national integrity unit for sport to help with legislating it, and rolling out education. We're doing webinars, monthly webinars, to assist people, always updating. It's just a space that's changing daily. And as you say, historical cases, new cases. Sometimes we beat ourselves up about it in our positions, and we think, oh, there's another case. But, the fact is we also got to look at that on the positive side. If there's a case, there's now a way to report. Perhaps 2 years ago or 3 years ago, we weren't getting those reports. So we're making inroads, and so we have to look at it positively. But it's about implementing the policy. And I think the key thing for us going forward is, how do we implement? How do we get somebody who's an athlete, or, something's happened? What do they know? What is appropriate? How do I report it? And if I report it, what will be done? And I think that's the key areas we need to focus on.
All right, Kim, last question. With sports being male-dominated, does this make it harder for women who are affected to come forward and report such incidents?
No, I think that the way we're doing the reporting these days, we have apps and that you can report on. We also have an email address. So it shouldn't be. It could be. Obviously we have come across where a couple of athletes have been concerned about, intimidation and that. So yes, it can be. And that's why we're saying, if we go forward with the National Sport Integrity Unit, it will be wholly independent. It should be easier to look after our athletes.
Fantastic. Kim, always great chatting to you. That was Sascoc Board member Kim Pople, just on the topic there of GBV.